Hey guys, it's Tony with Wood Tramp Outdoors. Question is, what do these wooden utensils, spoons, have and cutting boards and wooden serving trays all have in common? Other than the obvious. Hang tight and I'm going to tell you that. All right, guys, welcome back. So, I will tighten up this shot for you, but just want to explain this to you here. The thing that they have in common, other than that they're wood, is that they do require maintenance. Even the daily spoons. And when I say daily, Mo asked me to do some maintenance on the wooden spoons that we use in our kitchen on a daily basis. We also have a booze cutting board that we really like, and then this serving tray, man, I can't tell you how many meals have been taken out to in front of the TV with this thing, and it has, I don't know, this thing's probably 20 years old when I got it, and we've maintained it. That's the key to it. So question is, what do you do to maintain? And that's what I want to talk to you about. Now, you all know from seeing me and hearing me before that bush butter has traditionally been used on outdoor tools, either wooden handles or the steel that you're using. But it also has a lot of capabilities in the home as well. So let's just focus on this so I can tell you a little bit more about it as I go. Before I start on this, I just want to remind you that bush butter comes in 3 different size delivery systems. One is the tin, 2 is the tubes, great for detail stuff, and then the 3rd one is the bars. It's the size of a bar of soap. And in this instance, we're going to be using the bar because we keep this in our kitchen here. And just to show you, after about, I think this is about 3 years old, that's how much is still left, and we use it all the time. So let's just talk about what you have to do. If you have never treated the surface of your cutting boards or your utensils, you have to give them a little bit of a scuff. Now, this has been treated several times, but Mo likes to wipe them down every now and then after we use them with water. I might get sloppy with some pizza sauce or something. And you hit it with water and it's going to raise the grain because it does not have a permanent coating, okay? So what I do is I take a used piece of sandpaper, this 320 grit that's been pretty much worn out, as you can see, and just lightly, like you're petting a cat, just rub it over there to hit them hairs that are sticking up, right? Doesn't create any sawdust, anything like that. It just tames those wild hairs that are there. That's all I'm doing there. And I'll do the same thing on the back side. Right here, 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 here. All right. And then I'll just take a paper towel. Got a paper towel here. And I just wipe it down. And after I use the paper towel, I'll feel again to see if I can feel anything. And I do feel in this area right here where it's got this pretty grain, it got a little wild. So I'm going to go back over it again, just 1 or 2 times until I get rid of those hairs. Now they are gone. I wipe it off, and even when I wipe it off, you really can't see too much, a little bit, but not very, very much. And what you're seeing, I'm That's from past residual bush butter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this side right here and show you what we're going to do here. Okay, so if you don't have any, I call these finishing picks, pyramids, whatever, but you'll see what I'm going to do with these. You know, these are not necessary, but they help, and I'm going to show you why. So let's get this going here. This is all we do is roll this back right here. There it is. You can see that. And then we just begin to very carefully put it back and forth here. And as you're doing this, it's heating up, right? Here we go. Now when I'm done with this, I'm going to have to be very careful to take mineral spirits to the top of my workbench because I do not want it to contaminate anything that I am going to finish. When I say finish, I'm talking about putting color on wood. Like the birdhouses. I don't know if birdhouses are in the shot. No, they're not. Like this, right here. Boom. When I finish stuff like this. You don't want contamination. Wax is a contaminant to finishing. All the finishers are going, amen. Especially if you've ever fought with contamination. All right? So, next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that extra paper towel that I brought out right here. I'm going to wad it up and make a pad out of it like so. And then just evenly distribute this. I'm not really wiping it off. I don't care that it's on the handles or whatever. There's going to be some excess that's left here. But this is what your wood in your kitchen loves. It wants some care. All right, now that we've done that, I'm going to turn it over to this side. And this is where the picks come in at. I'm going to get the booze out of the way there. I'm going to put these picks down like so. And just set them down right there. Now, you can see what that does. It just has a real tiny sharp point that is touching the surface. So the reason that is key when you're a finisher is that you don't want any marks in your finish. I use it with top coat, between the ceiling and the different top coats. All right, now once we get this in like so, see, it doesn't take very much. Just sit this here. Once again, I'll take this paper towel that I have, and I'll use this paper towel for every implement that I brought out. I'm not going to switch paper towels because it's saturating in here now, and it is delivering bush butter to the surface as well. Yeah. Okay, now these are stainless steel handles on this serving board. All right, so now what we're going to do here, we're going to move this over. I've got these 4 other picks, and I'm going to move this out of the way. And once you get your bush butter on here, and by the way, let me mention this. If you want to keep the sheen of the grain to where when you look at it, you don't see all these swirls and things from the bush butter when it hardens, then you want to go with the grain, right? If you don't care, it doesn't matter, you know. This isn't going to end up in the Louvre in Paris. It's going to end up in your kitchen. So I'm going to take this now, and I'm just going to set it over here out of the way. I'll be using those as well. All right, now, this is a cutting board that we recently, I think this was a birthday present maybe? And I'm going to turn it over first, put it on these picks here. Now this isn't the first time I've treated this. I've treated it before, and I have not used it since I treated it. Fresh cutting boards need multiple applications before you get them in the sweet spot where you want to use them. But I don't have to sand this down because I had done that before. All right, so again, we're going to do everything that's wood on here. You know, bun feet are a little more difficult to get to underneath. You know, here where they attach themselves to the cutting board itself. And this is a maple cutting board. Again, it's from Booz. You know, but any cutting board you have, you don't have to have a Booz cutting board. They're just cool. And they do a good job. You know where Mo saw this at? We ran across this cat on YouTube that we had seen on the show called The Bear about the restaurant in Chicago. And because I had a business in Chicago for almost 30 years, man, I know where all the restaurants are at, and I know the neighborhoods really, really well, you know, and I was interested in that show because of my Chicago connection. My business was called Omega Touch Up and Repair, and we had contracts with all the Tier 1 buildings in Chicago to maintain all their wood and case goods, millwork, elevator panels, all that stuff. So we watched The Bear, and then there was this dude on The Bear that was the, I don't know, maintenance man, janitor, or whatever, that ended up being some type of maitre d', and his real name is Matty Matheson. And I don't remember his name on The Bear, what his actor's name is, but he's Matty Matheson, and he's some type of cook, some type of chef, and he is, wow, man, he's wild. And on his set, he started out on YouTube, I think in his own kitchen in his home. But he's got some corn in the crib when it comes to preparing meals. You know, he knows his way around a wooden spoon, that's for sure. But what I'm getting at is that Mo saw that he used a Booz cutting board. So she went out and she purchased this one, and I'm chomping at the bit wanting to use it, but it just really didn't have the right wax surface on it yet, you know. It comes with an oil, but you know, oils soak in and provides no outer protection hardly at all. Now, they won't tell you that because they want you to buy that oil, use it, and have to keep using it and buying it. But when you put bush butter on your wooden cutting boards, it lasts a long time. As long as you don't throw your cutting board in the wash. You know, cutting boards are not made to be soaked down and soaking because they're made out of wood. All right, so now we're going to take this, and I'm just going to set it over here on top of that. This isn't going to hurt anything. Get these out of the way. Now let's talk about these spoons. Again, I'm holding on to this paper towel there. All right, I got 5 different wooden spoons. This one, let me see here. How are we going to do this? Okay. I think we got this in Galena from a spoon maker. I don't remember where we got that one. This one and this one I think came in a set. This one came from Galena, and then this one came from a market in Nashville, Tennessee when we were down there. And I'm in my little workshop, and I don't leave a furnace on out here 24 hours a day. All right, we got a little bit in there that's going to have to come out whenever I buff them out. Not a problem. Okay, they feel a little greasy. Here's this one. Got all this on my hands. Look at that. Can you see that sheen that's on there already? All right, but we're going to go ahead and put some on here. Just show these spoons some love. As long as you don't burn your spoon, like I do. I've caught stuff on fire, man. Mo bought a new pan for the for the kitchen. A small pan. I put it on a large burner. Turned around, walked away, and I had inadvertently slipped the handle near the fire. Turned around, I'm smelling something. Man, what's that smell? Well, the pan was on fire. My bad. So now it has a little love mark on it. I've done that with these spoons too. All right, I'm starting to get more of this on my hands. Look at there. I don't even have to add any more. How you like that looking? That spoon is pretty, isn't it? That guy did a great job. And by the way, I should probably mention that I'm not a spoon maker. I thought about making some spoons by hand, just right here in this shop, but a lot of stuff I don't have. All right, now this one is really dry. Can you see that? It's really dry because it gets a lot of use. Look, it's burnt there. Thank you. Mo didn't do that. I did. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and break out the bar. I could sand that burnt portion off, but I kind of like it, man. It's like a badge of honor. All right. So, while you're doing this, just remember that bush butter isn't just for the outdoors. Okay? Then when I get it done while it's still warm, I roll that bag back up over it. It's just a whole lot easier. Take my word for it. Now, that looks kind of like the same thing. I'll tell you something else that you can do. Is that if you are so inclined, you can take that bar, heat it up, and then do this. Some people do that. I don't. All right, now we're just going to take this and we are going to show it some love. All right. There we go. Now look at that. It isn't dry at all. Now that we've done this, we're going to let these dry for a couple hours. And I'll be back to show you how to buff them out. All right, so before I start showing you what I do to buff these out, I just want to make mention that people have wrote me before and have commented that they use just regular furniture wax on their cutting boards and spoons. And that's a terrible idea because like this right here, I've used this wax for almost probably 30 years, maybe more. It's called Antiquax. It comes from England. And I used to import this for my business in Chicago. This is actually the last pallet I've had. I think I ordered this in 2018. And I just use it on furniture is what I do. So you can't use this type of wax or Minwax or anything you find in a big box store like that. Because it has a petroleum distillate in it in some way, shape, or form, or it's got other things in it. Antiquax has got different pumice powders in it. It's got all kinds of stuff. You don't want it in your cutting board. So Ixnay on using a furniture wax. You need to use something that is food gradable, okay? If you don't want to use bush butter, that's fine. But stick to something that is food grade, right? Nothing else. That was something else that I always taught my guys. Always use 2 rags to keep your skin from contaminating the oils in your hands and the acids that are in your hands from contaminating your finished surface. All right, now see, just very, very lightly, man. Very, very lightly. Look at that. You see how the sheen is coming up there? The heat from your hand is going through this, and the bush butter is reacting to it. It's flowing out, and you're closing the finish is what it's called. You're closing the surface finish. That top coat is now your bush butter, and you're closing that finish. That's the terminology. And boom, I like that. So, and then I will do it with a little finish. Real same thing here, man. You don't go at this like you're killing snakes. You just want to be able to have enough on there to let the heat kind of build up there. It emulsifies the wax, lays it down, lays it out, and now you've got a good coating on your spoon. Cutting board. All right, again, we're going to take the picks. We're going to put the picks down. And we're going to turn the cutting board upside down because we're going to address the bottom first. Okay, and we're going to take this. It's got a little excess sitting here that I forgot to get off. Look at that. Now, here we go. Got paper towels. You buy yourself a great cutting board. We're going to have cutting boards on our Etsy site as well. Different sizes. This is a little guy. I think it's like 13 inches, 14 inches maybe, something like that. But you can see how beautiful that gets. Now, when you take a microfiber towel to it, look what happens. You want it soft. You want to make a pad. This is how you make a pad, a soft pad. You take the corners, put them all in like so, like so. Fold it over again. And you grab it by that seam, and now look at this pad you have. Look at that. That's popping. Bush butter is your friend. Where can you get bush butter? Well, right now you can still get it on the website www.bushbutter.net. But a time is coming soon where you'll not be able to get those because we are positioning our master distributors for success. And you'll be able to get it through their website. One of them is naturereliance.org. That is a master distributor. All right, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I don't need to leave it on the picks, but it's okay if I do. All right, then we take this again right here. I love cutting boards. We cook a lot in our kitchen. Friday we threw some pizza dough. Man, was that awesome. Made some homemade pizzas. Got a little enough dough to throw in the... Matter of fact, I got some in the refrigerator. I think I'm going to make some meat pies out of those. In England they used to call them pasties. The miners' wives would put them in their lunch bucket. Call them pasties. They're just full of meat and potatoes and onions. All right, now let's do that again. This is very easy to do here. Right like that. Bam. Very, very lightly. This thing is ready for the kitchen. Again, this is made by Booz. You can see that there. This is the first one you've ever had. And to be honest with you, you know, when I looked at it, it inspired me, and I got out on Etsy and the different websites and was looking at the cutting boards. I'm like, wow, really? Why isn't Tony doing that? Well, the closer that I get to full retirement, the more of this you're going to see from me, and the less you're going to see of me being involved in the magazine. All right, there you go, man. That dude is ready for the kitchen, so a couple of them are down. We will move on over to this guy. I'd say this thing gets more action than any piece of wood apparatus that we have that's kitchen related. And this doesn't even go in the kitchen. Yeah, look at that. Man, that is awesome. I'm getting brownie points right now. Fellas, don't make your wife do this. Get yourself a bar of Bush Butter. And again, bushbutter.net is where you can get it right now. I got another master distributor up in the Northwest Territories. Website isn't done yet, so I can't give you that information. But man, they're selling a ton of it to knife makers. Alright, so I will take advantage of this being over right now and just a little soft here. Look at that. We've got a big ottoman in our living room. This fits perfect up there and helps to serve. All right, there's that. There's these. By the way, when you're done doing things like this and you use my suggestion with the paper towels, you know, there's going to be bush butter all on these paper towels. Don't throw them out, man. Don't throw them out. Lay them out for a little bit and then cut them up in squares and put them in your fire kit because they will burn. Yeah, that's looking good. All right, now we'll just finish it off with the microfiber. This one might be a little wet here because it was on the bottom, wasn't getting the circulation like everything else was, but it's not going to hurt it. Thing is you don't want ridges. You don't want clumps of bush butter laying around because they will get really hard. Okay. Yeah, I'm digging this. I'm seeing swirl marks in here, but that's not from this. This is from the manufacturer that made this when they sanded it. Come on, man. You don't want to sand against the grain. I'm liking this right here right now. I'm just going to give it a little extra. Yeah, when Monessa sees this, she's going to be impressed. Because she likes her wooden kitchen, utensils, apparatus, whatever. Yeah. All right. There you go, right there. Look at that. That was dull, ugly when we started. All right, pull them back out. Well, that's it. Bush butter isn't just for the woods. isn't just for your shop, it's for your whole house. What can you do in your house besides wooden utensils, cutting boards, serving boards? You can put this on your kitchen cabinets. You can put it on hinges. You can put it on leather furniture, all wooden furniture. Door latches. Just about anything that you can imagine. Bush butter does the trick. And it's great for cracked hands. Great for chapped lips. Yeah, this stuff does work. It's great. So, thanks for the question. But again, don't use that petroleum-based furniture wax on anything that's going to touch your kitchen mouth or whatever. So until next time, you guys be safe out there no matter what you're doing. And don't poke yourself in the eye.